Hey, what's going on? Welcome to a new episode of Une Sports. This is episode 79. You're joined by your host, Mike and Richie. And on today's topic, we will be discussing the semifinal of the Champions League. It's Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich and Dortmund versus Paris Saint-Germain. And we will also get into some topics on the NBA. And those topics will be, Mike, what will be the NBA topics?
I mean, we'll see what we could get to, but does the NBA have an issue with player injuries? What is the better outcome for the Phoenix Suns? Is it to trade Kevin Durant or keep Frank Vogel?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham.
Should he be
Should
there
sh-
next season?
yeah, should Darvin Ham be renewed? Well, not renewed, but should he continue being the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers?
And we will most likely start with we'll start with the Champions League, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How was your week, Mike?
Week's been good so far, man. But apologies to the listeners. Like, allergies has been kicking my ass. Like, I don't know where it came from, but yesterday, like, allergies just came in and just started kicking my ass, man. So my voice might sound even more laid back than usual.
I don't notice no difference,
I'm
honestly.
gonna try to bring
I've
the
been
energy.
good. Um, I was just actually looking at the news, and it was like yesterday, and then they said that Ragnick, he declined Bayern Munich and said that he will be staying with the Austrian team. He's
Yeah,
going
what?
to the Euro, right? To the
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, he said I'm the Austrian team boss with all my heart. So
What a tease, man. Like, he did that shit on purpose. It's
why
like,
would he do
yeah,
that?
he did it on purpose. It's like, yeah, I'm just let Bayern just keep coming and try to court me, and I'm gonna tell him no. Like, I'm like, oh man, you never had any intentions of signing. Like, you're just trying to big up your name even more. Trying to be like, oh yeah, like
I
Bayern Munich
declined.
Bayern Munich was coming after me. It was like, man, shut up.
Oh, that's crazy. I was like, whoa, like, okay. So that's a good job,
Like, you
Coach Bayern
declined
Munich.
you declined Bayern Munich to remain the head coach of Austria. Come on, son. Come on, man.
PR team strong, Mike.
Yep.
Um yeah, so this week we had Euro ball, if we can say like that, because we had Europa today, and then yet on Tuesday and Wednesday we had Champions League.
Hmm.
Let me run over the scores. Let's start with the Champions League. It's a semifinal leg one. First game on Tuesday, April 30th. It was Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. It was at the Allianz Arena. It was a tie 2-2. For Bayern Munich, goals by Leroy Sané and Harry Kane in penalty, and for Real Madrid, doblete, a double for Vinicius Jr. And on the other side, which was at the Signal in Duna Park, that's in Dortmund, Dortmund versus Paris Saint-Germain, Dortmund won 1-0. Full Kug, water control as well, Mike.
Hmm.
A very composed control. So,
Control and finish.
yes, sir. Second leg will be on May 7th on Tuesday. Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, and that will be au Parc des Princes in France, in Paris. And the second leg of Real Madrid Bayern Munich at the Bernabeu will be on Wednesday, May 8th. Both games 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Europa League today, Marseille versus Atalanta, and the game was at the Stade Vélodrome. A tie 1-1. Mbemba scored for Marseille and Scamacca scored for Atalanta. I haven't heard him for a long time. Like, I don't
Yep.
watch the Serie as much, but I don't know if he was still making noise. But it's a player after West Ham. Like, I completely forgot, and he probably will be there at the Euro. It's
Yeah,
tough.
for Italy, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I'm not sure for Tonali.
Nah, he's
Is he not
still.
suspended or something?
Yeah, I mean, but his ban should have been. I think his ban should be coming up now because it was 10 months and it
Thought I
started in
heard something
August.
this month, but we'll get
Yeah,
back to it.
yeah.
Leverkusen they won against AS Roma. Game was at the Stadio Olimpico. 2-0 for Bayern Leverkusen, who's continuing their fairy tale season. As you saw, was it this weekend they scored in the
Yep.
last minute?
This
Yeah,
past weekend,
like
yeah. 96-minute
yeah,
equalizer.
yep. So that was the quick bites, Mike, for today. This is episode
Okay.
79, always available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Let's get to the Champions League. So, which any preference you want to start?
No, man. You pick.
All right,
Let's
let's start with Dortmund.
Okay.
Dortmund and Paris Saint-Germain. Lucas Hernandez, he suffered an injury, ACL injury, so he will be missing
Oh,
the
again.
Euro again. I was saying the same thing. Like he will be missing the Euros for sure. Unfortunate because it almost felt like France kind of needed to circle back to a veteran center back because like their center backs is a little bit. If it's like I'm not sure if it's gonna be
Yeah, everybody's out of
Upamecano.
form. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's
it's
out of
like he
form.
he would have been a starter for sure, and his brother next to him. So yeah, let's start with that series. Oh, series. I'm talking like I'm in the league
Matchup.
matchup. Um, I honestly maybe in the second half they played better. I honestly didn't think Dortmund had a first great half, as
You don't
people were
think so?
mentioning. No,
What? Oh.
no, I think they had a good second half.
Mhm.
It's like the way people were portraying like Dortmund in the first half and also Sancho. Even Sancho was like okay in the first half. He was better in the second half for sure. He had a great second
Yeah,
half.
it was in the second half that he really
Yeah,
he
like
really
kind of
showed his
exploded a little
stuff.
bit.
Yeah.
But I thought Dortmund was okay. Like Paris kind of had the ball most of the time in terms of possession. They were not creating much. Well, they had like two occasions. Like Dembele seems that he wanted to score again against his old team.
Yeah.
It was not really. It was two poor shots. There weren't really much more. Dortmund also had their opportunity and they scored. I think Füllkrug had an amazing control because the way the ball like dropped, he did not need to move, just prepare for the shot. So that was amazing control. But yeah, I didn't think personally like
And and finish with his weaker foot. Amazing finish. Uh yeah, man. I would say I probably disagree a little bit. I think they had a really, really, really good first half. But overall in the game, like if we're gonna call a spade and be honest, man, like PSG had all every occasion under the book to actually, get back
yeah,
into the game.
second
Vitinha,
half like the first
yeah,
50 minutes. I mean the first 60 minutes like Mbappe had a shot hit the post and Akimi
yeah, red.
right after.
hmm
Could have changed the
Uh,
game.
Vitinha played another good, really, really good game again as well. But again, I mean, we're just gonna bring that up. I mean, yeah, you could call me a Mbappe hater or whatever. I mean, obviously, he's gonna be going to Real Madrid. That's the worst kept secret in the world right now. Like he just still doesn't want to announce it, and one of the main reasons why I want his team to just be knocked out of the Champions League right now, so we could be done with this like lingering nonsense, so that he could make his announcement that he won't be at the club coming next season. But like him playing more centrally, like it has zero effect, man. Like in the Champions League, it's like the last tie that they played, he had yes, he scored 2 goals, but over the 2 games that he played in the
I
last
actually got a
time,
question for you.
yeah, go ahead.
While you're like you kind of pivot something that I'm thinking about it. Like, do you think Luis Enrique cares that he's affecting the game? Do you think Luis Enrique cares about him affecting the whole 11 players, or he just wants him to score because this is where I'm gonna put you because you're not defending on the wing. I'm gonna put you somewhere. I don't really care if you affect the whole game as long as you can net me 2 goals or 3 goals, even if you're trash. What do you
Uh,
think is going through Luis Enrique's head?
I think one is the fact that it's Kylian Mbappe, so he has to play him.
Of course,
That's
yeah.
that's one thing. Dude, if he goes to the bench for 2 games, like the president of the country is gonna come in and ring him up. Like, that's how much power Mbappe has in France, man. Like, so that's one. And two, I just like I think that he has to rely on his skill set, and but he has these other players that he wants to. I don't think he really, again, I mean, Colomwani has barely played any
Yeah,
minutes, basically.
Colomwani, to be very fair for Colomwani and um
Ramos,
Portu Ramos, they have not had a momentum. Like it's always
yeah,
like either him or him, him or him. It's like a battle. It's like Benzema and Higuain. Even there was like a momentum for both strikers. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you the next 5 games. Higuain, they're not even getting that, so it's
yeah,
very hard. Like, it's very hard to penetrate in the momentum in a team. But yeah, carry on. Sorry.
yeah. But so clearly, like he's a weird manager, man. So we've kind of seen like in that's probably why. I mean, let's not say that's probably why he's getting criticism because he's a foreign coach in France. He would be receiving criticism,
Either
whoever,
way,
like either way. But he's weird, man. Like in the way that he wants to employ his tactics. Like,
yeah,
so it's clear that he doesn't trust these 2 strikers. So, like, all right, if I don't trust these 2 strikers, like, who am I gonna go with? Barcola is better. If I want to play Asensio, if I want to play Kang In Lee, like as guys that could play on the wing and actually come into midfield as well a lot of times. And Barcola, he's explosive at times. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna move Mbappe more centrally and then just go with my trusted wingers and um Barcola and
and I'm gonna get goals. I'm gonna get at least 2 goals from him,
yeah.
from
So
Mbappe. That's
you
what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't think he cares about his high performances because he doesn't really play him in the league or anyway. So Champions League is a different ball game. It's the highest competition, so you have to play him. I don't even think Nasser is saying anything wrong about him not playing like certain halves or games. Like it hasn't really been a issue in that team, so they're okay with it. But yeah, I mean, I'm like for example for that game, Mbappe, like you said, he didn't play well overall, but he literally could have scored like that goal.
yeah,
And
like
I'm thinking that this is what Luis Enrique wants just from him for that rest of the season. I'm still gonna put you because the probability is you're gonna score in that position versus Colomani and
yeah.
Ramos. So we're just gonna go with you. You're gonna score, so
Yeah,
you're
just
gonna be
based
our
off
finisher.
raw talent
Yeah,
itself, like, half a chance is a great chance
yeah,
for Mbappe
yeah.
because
Hmm.
but overall I think it was a really good game. I mean, Dortmund was playing at home, so they had to take it to the team. They had to take it to the opponent and they did just that, man. Sancho you know, left a lot of reporters asking Eric Ten Hag a lot of questions with
Yeah, I
his
was gonna ask you
performance.
that. Should Manchester United um like try to keep him and put him in the best position to
I mean,
succeed,
so
or is just that cut
the
ties?
yeah, I think the reports have come out that Dortmund actually wants him to stay. That's one. And as much as I want to be like, yo, because all of our wingers are pretty much garbage, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, like they're pretty much trash. The team is
Hmm.
underperforming like crazy. But as much as I want to be like, yo, he made the wrong decision, et cetera, like the reality is that one, yes, Jadon Sancho hasn't had an extended run in the team to actually stow his stuff, like, playing like 10 weeks,
Yeah,
12 weeks, 13, 14 weeks in a row to say like, just like Marcus Rashford until it gets to that point, like, all right, man, like I gotta bench you. You're not performing. I gave you 4 months, like I gotta bench you. So he hasn't had that run to say specifically, but at the same time, I have to realize that, and I hope United fans realize that. Look, if it's not a coach like maybe a Deserby, a Pep, like coaches that have this certain type of style of football that they want to play that really emphasizes a lot of technical ability and trying to break down the lines. And it's less about like who's going to be as your wingers doing take-ons and beating your defenders one on one. Even though, yes, he did that versus PSG. Like in the Premier League, man, it's really tough to do that. Like you have to be really dynamic and explosive to do that at all times. I mean, you could even Jeremy Doku, man. Doku got one move, like and he's fast as
He's
hell.
killing them with that one move though.
Exactly. He's fast as hell.
I'd be
But
amazed. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like, just does
Sancho,
not look pretty.
yeah, Sancho doesn't have that type of pace,
Mhm.
so he has to be involved in another way. And I think the focal point should be more him than anything. And he's playing next to players that like German football is technical football,
Yeah,
man.
you're
That's
right.
that's that's the better situation for him. So
Hmm.
I don't think the Premier League is suited for Jadon Sancho's style of football. And to be fair, the crop of players that he's playing with Dortmund right now are better than what he had around him at United. So I'm like 50-50 with it. I just don't think he could necessarily succeed at the highest level in um in the Premier League because European football is completely different. It's not like he's not playing versus another English team like or English fullbacks or people that are playing, in England. So for me, I think he should stay at Dortmund. United, cut your losses. If you're able to get like 50, 60 million back for him, let's do that. Put it on a payment plan because Dortmund ain't gonna pay y'all because they're gonna be like, screw you guys. Like you guys messed up anyway. So but yeah, I mean, overall, if we're talking about the tie, I'm really impressed with what Dortmund did. I'm really impressed with what's the manager's name again?
Oh, I forgot his name. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get you the name.
Yeah, but I'm impressed with what he did, man. I really like him. Um, to the point I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't want Tuchel at United. Maybe I want him instead.
Looking
But
for his name for you.
I keep forgetting his name.
Edin
Um,
Terzic.
yeah, Terzic.
Yeah.
Yeah, young manager, really good. But yeah, United should definitely cut their losses and be happy that, he's regained his form so that you could get a nice little price tag for him.
The second half was actually better. That's what I think for
Mm.
Dortmund because even like you said, like Sancho was like very technical. He created a chance like this. That the chance that he created was very well crossed, but not very well taken. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if you've ever seen that.
yeah, I
So he was
did.
very good.
I
So that's why I was
did.
asking like that question. Any last word for that part for that leg?
They got to go into Paris and bring that same energy, but minimize the mistakes. That's what they got to do because PSG had a whole bunch of them, man.
I think PSG is gonna go through because like I don't think they're gonna miss all those opportunities
Yeah,
like they have also at home. I think they're gonna net. So I would say for me 2-0 PSG.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. Unfortunately.
Because they have the possession. They're just not dangerous enough. They just have to create and score early on. Maybe that opens the game a little bit more for them because like now Dortmund has to go look for a goal and you can exploit those spaces. That's what they can do mostly. Exploit spaces, combination between Barcola and Mbappe or
Mhm.
Dembele making a magical run and then taking like two, three defenders, creating chaos, breaking
Mhm.
all sort of lines, which gonna create a lot of space, and then he could either look for Barcola, most likely is gonna be looking for Mbappe.
Mhm.
So uh, I think if PSG looks back and then saw all those misses, you could feel good about yourself and then be
Yep.
like, yeah, we're gonna take care of it at home. Yeah, so let's move on to the second one, Mike. The big dogs of the Europe, they call him the Classico of the Champions League. Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. Um, I actually had a question before we get into the game itself.
Okay.
I think you were the person that asked the question about what is Musiala's position
I
or
didn't ask
no?
that question. I asked who was going to actually mark him, I think. Because like I was in my opinion, I thought that they were probably gonna or Ancelotti was probably gonna try to man mark him
No, I'm not even recently, like a long time ago.
a long time
Maybe
ago.
maybe it
Okay.
wasn't you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but if you would, well, if you would, what is this position in your opinion? Like when you're observing Musiala's, is he
Free
like a
free roam. Free roam. But I mean
he's not a number 10 because
he yeah, he has
he's
winger
not he doesn't
abilities.
have the yeah, he has winger ability, but he doesn't really like to stay a lot on the wing. Like his first instinct is to always cut it in,
Yeah.
taking defenders, looking for the support of the main striker and trying to get it back into space and then trying to create a goal like this or take defenders because he can do that. So he's not a number 10. He's not a winger for me. He's not a striker. Who are you?
I don't know. But
He's like a
he
yeah.
reminds me a lot of Hazard
Yeah.
in the way that
Yeah.
he like how
What was Azar's
explosive he
position?
is. I mean
Left winger?
Hazard, yeah, he played left winger.
That's the thing.
And
Is that a winger?
I don't know, but he's a CAM. I mean,
Okay, yeah. Azar actually
you
he's a
know,
winger. Yeah.
uh, but he has the technical ability, the pace, and the explosiveness of a winger, in my opinion. But he's
Mhm.
deployed more centrally, more
Uh,
often than not.
so yeah, let's get into like the detail and the sequences of the game first and second half. Um, what's your opinion about the game? Is it
I mean, on Real Madrid's side, there
who-
wasn't much
yeah.
to talk about, man.
Okay,
Like,
but if you're
you
Bayern
know,
Munich, do you still feel good about yourself because you were better and then you still tied against a Real Madrid that was not really actually good, not that good at all. But um,
I think
do you go back to Spain and with yeah, like I feel we're good, like or like damn, we should have won that game
for sure. I mean, it's a little bit of both. Like they should have won. I
because
think
Thomas Tuchel was very mad all throughout
yeah,
the game.
yeah, and he let his defender know about it through the media. Probably at halftime as well. We don't know if he spoke to them in the locker room and blew up on them. But I mean, yeah, you heard Harry Kane. They said that they could beat Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, and that's what they're gonna aim to do. Um, yeah, you will feel good about your chances about going to the Bernabeu and beating them. At the same time, you're going to be really salty that you didn't beat them because it was a game that should have been won
Yeah,
because two individual mistakes uh really cost them the game. That's really what it was.
the game of the mistakes,
Yeah, that's really what it
basically.
was.
Like all the goals came like kind of well. Vinicius one was not a mistake. It was just a well played sequence.
I
But
would I would call it a mistake.
okay, it's a mistake.
I would
But
call it a mistake.
I feel like sometimes defenders
I would call it a
might might bite
misjudgment.
misjudgment. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Look, yeah, in my opinion, Mike, before I even get into the game, I would just want to before I even get to my takes, if you want to beat Real Madrid, even if Real Madrid is at their lowest, you have to score at least 4 goals. You have to, because even when they're not good, they're still gonna score 4 goals in 2 legs. So you have to plan on scoring 4 goals, and you can't make. You have to. It's almost that they have to be perfect, and Real Madrid don't have to be perfect because they still can score. Because you saw Manchester City, they were like they had their foot on Real Madrid's neck for like a good 70 minutes, but they couldn't score. And you have to score because Real Madrid scored out of nowhere against City. And it's also the same thing against Bayern Munich. Like the first 10, 15 minutes, well played sequences with Harry Kane dropping in that pocket, getting his wingers early on. They had Sane 1-on-1 with Lunin. Well, not really 1-on-1, but a clear shot first. And I think he had two opportunities in the first 15, 20 minutes.
Hmm.
And Bayern looked like they were gonna score because they were the better team, and then boom. I saw something that I don't normally see for Kroos. Usually Kroos is a left back creator because like when Mendy's always up, he's that's sometimes where he kind of starts. The goal actually came from Kroos from the right side. I don't normally see him in the right side. I don't know if that was a plan or something.
No, he had dropped deep a little bit. Like
Yeah,
he
but
was,
when he
he was.
drops deep, he's always on the left.
I mean,
Like
he
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 always
had
a
dropped, and
yeah.
I think at the moment I felt like if I remember correctly, I think Tchouaméni was a little bit more to the left, and he had
Mm.
dropped in between the defenders, and he
Okay.
actually called for the ball. It was like, "Yo,
And
give me the ball,"
you
and then
losers.
and then
And then he saw
Vinicius,
Vinny,
yeah, Vinicius
the pump fake.
made the
Yeah.
little run into midfield. I don't know
This is
why.
plan. This is
I
plan.
don't know what this guy was thinking.
Kim.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why
He
are you following him that high up, man?
and you
Like,
know what's crazy? If he didn't make those two mistakes, he would probably be done with a rating of 7.58. He
yeah,
was actually not that bad,
yep,
but those two mistakes kind of hurt his grade. But I think in Cruz and Vinicius, I know like they practice that, like the pump fake probably.
yeah, he did it. You remember versus
Yeah.
uh
Like bro, go
go.
like yeah, so yeah, like you said, like you need to that reminds me of Beraldo, like with Lewandowski in the last leg because he was going so up. They had to
Mhm.
make a adjustment because he was biting all the time. Like the striker is gonna invite you sometimes to get out and
Yeah.
then to create some space for their wingers, which Vinicius is doing that very well. Like he's being very mature playing in that central position. He's finding space actually, and he could take defenders one on one sometimes. And yeah, that was my take. And I think Kane played an amazing game with his support. Musiala's position, I was asking you as well because I was kind of confused, like who he is. But that's the thing, like Bayern Munich had to be more perfect, to take Real Madrid out because like out of nowhere, like they created a chance and then Kim bit again, and created that foul on Rodrigo. Um, but overall, Bayern was better. He was better. They were better. They were the better team
What do you think about the penalty?
on.
No, just Vinicius taking that penalty.
Oh, like
Are you confident in his abilities as a penalty
not really. He could
taker?
either be good or bad, but I don't know. I never felt comfortable with Vinicius. I never felt comfortable with guys like even Neymar because like it's so dangerous the way they take their penalties. But
Yeah.
no, I'm not too confident. But he had a goal ready. You can let him do it because he's confident. He had a great game. I mean, he had a like not a great game, but he was actually good in that game. It was not that bad.
If you're Munich going into the Bernabeu as Tuchel, like you're Tuchel, what do you think they should do differently to like
Thomas Tuchel, no, I don't think he
yeah.
could do anything different. I think that the game plan that they had was good. They had the opportunities to score. Obviously the first goal from Sane, like Lunin kind of like could have done a better job, but they created the chances. I don't think you can if you look at the game again and maybe you replay those opportunities that Sane had, maybe he scores in another day. So they were able to create. So you don't change anything. I think the personnel that play was good. I like Limer and Goretzka instead of Kimmich. I think Kimmich is good on the right side. He's
Mhm.
better there. Limer had a great game. Basically everyone kind of had a game. I don't think Thomas Muller. Maybe you don't start Thomas Muller and you look away to get Gnabry involved. Maybe you did that change. Because to me, Muller was not effective at all. Like you don't really need Muller. You could have Kane playing number 10.
That's a
You
fact.
don't need, yeah, so
That's a
maybe
fact.
that's the change. But
You
even
know,
though I wouldn't really do it like that.
yeah, probably because they dominated the game.
Yeah.
My thing is like I probably would look into because Limer was my man of the match. Um, he played a really good game. I would think like sometimes I'd be wondering. I'm just like, yo, why do y'all give Tony Cruz so much time on the ball, man? Like, why? So
I never, yeah, like
I would think
when you
about like
press Tony Cruz,
yeah.
he's gonna be not that good.
So I would think about like, maybe shadow marking a little bit, with Limer because he has like eight lungs and he could run for days. Like so, you know, even looking at the goal, I'm like, yo, bro, like why does Cruz have so much time to dictate Vinny? Like, yo, I need you to go right there. And you let him actually make that pass, man, like with
Yeah, like they
no type of pressure
you
whatsoever.
remember against Liverpool when Cruz was able to find Vinicius in that
Yeah.
run when Zidane. they gave him so much time. Like
It's
you
like
need to press guys like this because their passes with those runs are amazing.
that reminded me of when Ten Hag actually told Fred to just man mark De Bruyne all over the pitch. Because it's like, yo, dude, we cannot give this guy any daylight
Yeah,
to make any type of
any
passes.
passes. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to
How we
the
doing on
NBA.
time?
We're gonna wrap up. It's very soon.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so let's jump into the NBA. We have a couple games today. We have Bucks and Indiana Pacers right now. It's Pacers are leading 59-47 at the half. Indiana Pacers are leading 3-2. So it is an elimination game. Another one at 9 p.m. It's the Knicks versus Philly, and that will be in Philly. It's 3-2. The Knicks are leading. This game is at 9 p.m. So first question you had is said, should the Phoenix Suns retool or fire Vogel?
Yes.
I think that you give him another year and you retool. I think
Mhm.
that if they had, like I said many times, I feel like if they had like a don't it doesn't have to be like a pure point guard as long as a player knows when to change the tempo of the game, slow down, mitigate turnovers.
Mhm.
I think if you get a guy like that, you have a different look for the team. Because you look at the Phoenix Suns, like they actually won more games this year than last year. This year they had they won 49 games this year. Last year they had
I
40.
would damn well hope so, Richie.
What? No,
I
it's
would damn well hope they won more games this year than last year
I mean,
with
no,
that
I'm just
super
saying like
team.
no, it's just funny because like last year they finished higher up, and then now like the sixth. Because the I was gonna say the West got better, because it doesn't really matter. That's not even that's actually my case. Because like you're seeing this stats, you'll be like, oh, they're better, but actually they're not really better. Because when you're looking at looking at postseason turnovers, Devin Booker 11 turnovers, Bradley Beal 13 turnovers, KD 10 turnovers, and that's in 4 games. They can't be facilitators. They can't be the point guard. They can't be the guy that I mean, there are gonna be plays where they're gonna run the ball, like, but they can't be doing that in the course of 4 quarters. They're not that guy.
You know,
So they need to get a prototype of a Draymond Green, kinda, that can run them the same way the Golden State be running. Like getting KD through screens. Like he's still offensive weapon. He's gonna be offensive weapon until like 38.
but it's funny that you say that because there are reports that are coming and saying that, like, obviously Kevin Durant has been upset in the way that
The
he's
squad
been
is too.
involved.
Mm.
Nah, he's upset at the offense. He says like a lot of times he's relegated to the corner and he's being played too much into pick and rolls. And I'm like, what type of actions do you think you're going to be running? Like, what actions were you guys running in Golden State? A lot of times you were involved in a 1-2 pick and roll with Steph Curry. You know, even though yes, you were coming you were coming off a lot of pin downs, like so that you could get to your sweet spots in the mid range, but that's the type of offense that you need to be involved with, especially with guys like Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. Like it's gonna be you and Book. It's not always gonna be Book
And
and
Beal?
Nurk.
Oh, Nurk, sorry.
Like Nurk setting the screen so that you know players are kind of too afraid to like sag off on KD and Bradley Beal so that he could operate a little bit more freely. I don't know if that's the type of offense that they're trying to run, but the reality is that the Phoenix Suns are really kind of tied. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think Frank Vogel definitely needs to be here for another season. So
He's
that
suffering with the same thing that happened to the Lakers with him when they broke the whole team that won, and they gave
yeah,
him another team that was not really well constructed.
yeah. So I mean, James Jones came out today in his press conference, lying his ass off, and
I
and
think the owner
like
also said something like
yeah, he's way too
GMs will
involved.
be GMs are would like basically said GMs would love to have the team that they have.
Yeah,
Like they're not too far away.
he's way too involved, man. But the thing is that yeah, the Suns are kind of tied, man. Like so they're left with really limited options, and the
Yeah,
only
they it's gonna be a it's very limited. I'm not sure if it has to be a trade. I also feel like they have to get like a big another big.
yeah, 100%.
Because when you're looking at series against like guys like Minnesota, they like get guys like KD and Nurkic, they can't really they got run over by guys
Yeah,
like
because
Cat
I
because
mean
they're
you're
very
looking
much more physical with more. I was gonna say something. I was like, that's a AO. I'm saying I'm good.
I mean, you're looking at the league
More
now.
muscles.
The league is moving towards like you remember, like even Michael Porter Jr. when he had his podcast with the owner Cronky, um, when he had him on his podcast, and the owner was talking about like, hey, there was the time where everybody was retooling their rosters to try to match Golden State's. Everybody wanted to have the Steph Currys and all that stuff, and now teams are tooling and fixing their squads to beat the Denver Nuggets. That is why the Boston Celtics went out and they got Porzingis. Like that's why. They're like, all right, there are the one main obstacle that we think that we have in the East Coast is outside of the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra, who just coaches his ass off with his team. It's Joel Embiid. So we need a presence to guard Joel Embiid. That's one. Not to say that Porzingis can guard Joel Embiid. I'm not saying that. But they needed to get bigger on the front court. Pause. So, because they traded Robert Williams because he was injury prone as well. So they got a guy that's not only good defensively, that could be very serviceable defensively for them, but could also be a very potent threat in their offense because he could play inside and he could play outside. And the Denver Nuggets, it's Jokic. Like that you're gonna have to go through the
Yeah,
Joker
you
to get
have
to
to.
the
Yeah.
to the NBA Finals. So you have to think about that. Nurkic ain't guarding Joker, man. I'm sorry. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Bol gonna guard the Joker? Like, that's what we're gonna do, man. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
stop it.
the team needs a retool, Mike. Like
Stop
that's the ideal. Like,
it.
yo, we need to retool. They,
Yeah.
they they do have to retool. It's very important that they do because if they don't, like you said, there's a lot of aspect in their game that the teams are gonna be able to exploit, and they're gonna make it easy for teams too. Because if you're gonna get all those turnovers, they're gonna transition to buckets, and then they don't even get a lot of offensive rebounds. Everything that's really important in basketball, they don't do well, Mike. So they have a lot of issues to figure it out. But I feel like if they're not they might be two players away. I'm not sure if it's gonna be through trades, but they could either not retool and then get weird players again like the Lakers in the summer and still be the same team, or they get the key players and then it changes dramatically. Doesn't mean they're going to the finals, but it means that they're gonna give you better performances.
Yeah, they won't get swept.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said.
But yeah, man. I mean, if they have to retool, again, it's a headache of a question because the only guy that they could really trade is Kevin Durant.
I
I
don't think that's gonna
mean,
happen. So
exactly.
yeah.
So, they're
But they're
gonna
probably gonna have to retool through like role players and then
it's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
in it. It's gonna be an
Gonna be a
interesting
headache.
summer. Call Dwight Howard, man. Get him on the phone, baby.
He's waiting for that call. But yeah.
All right, we'll get
So
to the other topics at some other point.
I was
Let's
gonna actually, yeah, we're gonna have to retool that one
yes.
also. Yeah, we'll get to the other topics next week, and then we'll have an idea also of the next round
Yeah.
of if everything happens
We'll see
the
if
way
Frank
it's supposed to
Vogel
happen.
and Darvin Ham make it to next week.
Oh yeah, it's probably by next week we're gonna know. Yeah, one of them is gonna be out. I'll say that. I
Yep.
think the one from the Lakers is out. Suns guy is they're gonna have him coming back for one more season. But yeah, so this was episode 79 and always available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Any last words, Mike?
No, sir. Appreciate you guys for listening as always, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Subscribe, like, and comment with us. Thank you. Appreciate it. Peace.